Welcome to Toadstool Hoodoo. A really cool place off 89 here. We're about 30 miles west of Page. We've got Kanab to the west of us. Page is to the east. This is in the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. This place is just filled full of hoodoos. It's an incredibly easy hike to get back in here. It's one that I really enjoy. And there's just like every hoodoo known to man you'll probably find back here. It's a nice easy hike to get back in there. We just follow the signs and the trail and just enjoy the sights and the sounds along the way. Look at these beautiful shades of brown that will accompany us as we hike back. When it's dry, you can follow this dry wash in. When it's wet and the dry wash becomes a wet wash, you will not want to be in here. I don't know if you can see, but there's a trail goes right up along there. So there is secondary trail, but a lot of people just like to walk down here in the wash like we are doing this time. When I've been here, I split a different way. Sometimes I'll walk on the trail. Well, because sometimes I've been out here when it's been wet. So I didn't want to walk down here and get my shoes muddy and wet. But when it's dry, it's pretty cool. Even before we get to the hoodoos, this is just such a beautiful area to stop and photograph. Look at that, look at these two little rocks right here. I don't know how well they show up in the video. They poke up kind of cool. And here have this cool little undercut. Not sure how well this can be captured. That was pretty neat. You see a spot here where you can keep going straight, another little undercut there. Where here you can kind of see where the trail cuts across this dry wash. We'll get up on the trail now. It's about a mile back into here. It's not too far. And as you've probably seen so far, it's basically flat. It goes up a little bit, but not a very steep incline at all. It gradually, slowly goes up. I'm going to continue. I'm going to go back down into the wash. Even though the trail, when it's wet, would go up there. If you look back, you can see a couple hoodoos already. We are almost there. This is one of my favorite ones right here. But I like, see right back here, it gets lost in there. That's not good. So we want to get below it and elevate it up into the sky. The sky. Like, look right there. Even there is super cool. Got a few lines from some clouds. I'm going to stop here for a second and take some photos. Here's another angle on this one. I think this one has a name. I don't recall what it is off the top of my head. I don't have my map with me, but I believe this one has a name. Maybe its name is Cool Hoodoo. I'm not sure, but it seems to me it had a name. If you know what the name is, please put it in the comments below. Well, leaving this spot, there's a lesser known area with a bunch of hoodoos that is off over that way. A lot of people don't go over there. I just seen some people walk by that hadn't been over there. We will go over there in a little bit. But first, we're going to go up here and explore this little area that's down behind all these cliffs here. It's got a lot of cool rocks in that area. Let's look at this hoodoo from a different angle. It's pretty cool looking that way too, huh? As long as you get below it and let it elevate above the horizon, you'll probably get a good shot of it. Now if you look, you can see a lot of capstones here from hoodoos that have just eroded in time. That guy's down to nothing over there, but you can see a bunch of these that were capstones at one time. Here's some short little ones. This guy's holding on for all he's got onto this capstone. Look at that. This one doesn't really have a capstone left, but it looks like the top part of the rock's gotten hard enough to kind of protect it. So we're going to go over here now. We have a whole bunch of hoodoos in this area. Smaller ones there, this really big one right here, which I like. Now this one's a little bit harder. At first glance you might think it's just going to get lost with the rocks. Now depending on the light, you can get isolated from the cliffs behind, or you can just work your way behind it. And especially if you have a wide angle lens, see how it's already getting separated. I'm gonna back up and shoot it like this. I'll probably go a little lower even, maybe get some of this vegetation in the photograph. This is how I'm gonna photograph this one. I'll move around a little bit, see if I find something I like better. Lots of ways to capture this big guy. Really towering over these little ones. We will now go over and explore this little area that's got 4 or 5 hoodoos still left standing, and a whole bunch that are just about over. I'll probably work my way into this one and just get the big one and the little one next to it. And then there's this little bitty guy. Well, not little bitty, but not too big. Off by himself a little bit. Again, we'll go low. The whole key of the game here is getting low. See how low you can go. That looks really neat. I like the way that's balancing. Something else I just saw as I got in, or got around this one, I looked around. Can you see the little gap there? Look at how little is still supporting this. Wow, a little 2-inch area there. Little bitty area there. It's not a lot that's left that's supporting and balancing this. Well, hopefully it's enough to keep it on there for a few more 100 years. This is a really neat area below the cliffs here. A lot of little holes and pockets. You never know what might catch your eye for a photograph. Maybe that was a hoodoo at one time. If you look way up there, there's still one hoodoo way up there with a huge capstone still on it. If we look back down here, see all this capstone rocks. There's probably another big hoodoo up there that collapsed, and then the rocks just, the capstone just broke in pieces when it fell down. Look at the way the erosion is cutting lines into that. Looks like a little nook and cranny back up in there. All right, there's our big fat hoodoo. As I said, we're going to continue on this way over here to an area. Let me walk this way so I don't walk through all those plants. But off over this way is, I won't say it's a secret because it's not a secret. I've been there a bunch of times and there's been other people back there too. So it's not a secret, but there's no sign pointing to you, I don't believe. I don't recall anyways. A sign that points you back there says, hey, come look at these other hoodoos. So unless you're just really exploring and you like to explore, you would not know that there's another set of hoodoos back around there. I did not get very far, and I found this next to the cliff. It looks like a hoodoo just went splat. Almost like it's a pile of ice cream that just melted. When it's 100 degrees out here, ice cream sounds very good. Now look at this. In addition, this is along the cliff. It looks like somebody came here and just carved and etched this out. Look at all that detail in there. And there's like several of these along here. Just really interesting. This one's almost a cave. Sets back in there a little bit. At first glance, you might think it's just hoodoos back here, and the cliffs might seem boring, but there's a lot of interesting details in these cliffs. This is an area where you really want to keep your eyes open because beauty can just jump out at you at any moment. Even all the chaos of all these capstone areas just collapsed and stuff, you could find some beauty here. To get to that area that we are going to, you just kind of follow the paths and the rocks. You'll see some of the areas where people have walked through, and you just kind of make your way through, like right up here. And just work your way around carefully. Don't step on anything and don't break anything. I again did not get very far. It's just so beautiful here, it's hard to stop videoing. But we've gone far enough. You can see the cool white rock over there with all the lines and cracks in it. And now we're starting to get to a few more hoodoos. This area over here, I nicknamed the Hoodoo Graveyard. I think the first time I was through here, could have been 15, 20 years ago. Not sure. Time flies when you're having fun, but the first time I saw this, I just thought it reminded me of a graveyard. You see the hoodoo there. It's kind of collapsed onto another stem there. The capstone. See the capstone there. You see capstones all over, laying in all sorts of different positions here that have just collapsed. So this is one time probably a lot of hoodoos all along there, and they've all just about died. So I think Hoodoo Graveyard is an apt name for this part of the Toadstool Hoodoo area. We are back in the area where I said that not a lot of people go. Some people do. You can see footprints here. You can see the trail here. I try to be very careful when I'm walking through this area, especially if there's not many footprints in the ground. Like here, you can see a lot of people have walked down in that area. I try to walk around it and keep that area clear. So when I take photos or other people come and take photos, you are not going to see my footprints. I think I'll start here and photograph this one. Then I'll work back to that one. And we'll see there's a group of them back in there further that I'll video and show you. Just off to the side is this cool little area I wanted to show you before we got to the final hoodoos here. It's an area where I like right now the sun is just right up there. But I like the terraces as this is just eroded all the way down and it just leads off. If you look closely, you'll see a couple cars driving on Highway 89. It's just not that far away from here. We haven't gone in that far. In fact, you can even hear them driving if I stop talking long enough. Let's get to the final hoodoos. Just right around here. They are really tucked in there. Interesting little hoodoo there. You can see a whole bunch more here. And you can tell there was just a lot of small ones here at some point. That is one small capstone. In fact, I'm betting some people probably set that on top of there to try to help protect it. Are these awesome or what? I'll answer it for you. They are awesome. They're a little harder to set aside or set apart from the cliffs. But you can do it. This is one where time of day and the lighting can help a lot in separating them. And we can shoot back the other direction. Again, an interesting alcove area back here behind all these hoodoos. Look how neat that looks. There's a hoodoo up there. And we will turn around, show you these final hoodoos. Look at how awesome this is. Well, if you're ever in this area on 89 between Kanab and Page, be sure to stop by. Doesn't take very long to get back in here and explore. I sure hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, share, comment, like, tell your friends, and help our channel to grow. Thank you very much.